Yes, indeed. Timeo Danao et dona ferentes. When I lived in Idaho about 15 years ago, I found out that Idaho had been the last state to ratify the legal drinking age to 21. So for a couple of years after the rest of the states caved, Idahoans aged 18 could buy a beer for themselves. According to Idahoans I spoke to, this was why there are no freeways in Idaho. At least they cut through super quick. It was part of the punishment package doled out by the federal government. So a study came out, the link to which I will provide below, in which it was suggested that much good would come from raising the age for buying tobacco to 21. And what is the justification for this? It is not actually that anyone is trying to save 20-year-olds from buying tobacco. It's that by increasing the age, it makes it that much harder for 15, 16, 17-year-olds to buy cigarettes. And they've done the math, and lo and behold, X number of people will not become smokers, and Y number of people will be saved. Huzzah. Almost certainly quite true. I'm sure the statistics are quite right. After Leonard Nimoy died, Spock, you know, I heard a radio commentator say that he stopped smoking too late. He stopped smoking in his 50s, and it was smoking that killed him. He died of lung cancer. And then the dude caught himself and realized how ridiculous he sounded, because Nimoy died at age 83. He didn't die from smoking. He died of lung cancer, yes, but he died from being 83 years old. We are not reasonable people when it comes to tobacco. In certain times of our history, we have not been reasonable people when it comes to alcohol. Prohibition rolls along. Sure, there are historical reasons it happened. It was a stupid, foolish, and yea, even sinful thing to do. One of the things that comes from prohibition, a black market. We then roll up decades later and tell young men and women who can vote, hold jobs, and go into combat that they can't buy themselves a beer. What happens? A black market is generated. It's not like telling a 14-year-old he can't have a beer. Now the same thing is being proposed with cigarettes. You really think it's not going to create a huge black market? The worst thing about this is the government creep aspect of it. The idea that people, someone somewhere, thinks this is something we could reasonably do, that we could suggest to the government and it would happen. Why do they think it's reasonable? Because we've done stupid stuff like this before. Even if we were to say that the practical gains from such a measure outweighed the practical losses, we see how much power we have given to the government. The federal government gets to tell the states what to do in everything. Why? Is it because the South lost the war between the states? Yes, in part, but not really. It's because the states accept gifts. The states accept gifts would be the proper way to say that. Timeo Danao et dona ferentes, as the classicists say. We'll accept your money to build roads. Oh, now we have to ban drinking for adults? We'll accept money to educate our children. Oh, now we have to do things a federally mandated way. Worst of all, this happens on the individual level as well. And lo and behold, the government gets to give us health care. Yay! Even if you and I don't accept it, the people are being given health care. And what happens when you give gifts to people? You kind of feel a little urge to make and use them responsibly, don't you? And when your parents give you a gift, oh man, you better use it right. If your granny gives you a gift, better use it right. Well, Granny State is giving us health care. So guess what? The state gets to tell us whether we should smoke or not. Of course they do, because we're taking the state's money.